Kyme. We are live yet again to try to resolve what exactly happened in Cendre, as it was turned into a necropolis before our characters' eyes. As you were taken away from this location by this seemingly flesh-suited priest, some foul undead creature lay beneath the otherwise suave but somewhat unnerving vampiric exterior. For some fell purpose, he has drawn you into this barrow where he spoke about you and your presence within Cendre perhaps corrupting something that his lord, the prince, was demanding, and that you would not interfere with the purity of his horde. So, having that slight notion, you were able to slay this creature before it was able to re-manifest itself in some manner. The organs have been strewn inside of the barrel as you guys committed to investigating, but Mikheil, your Selahim ally, who was also teleported with you, though he did seem like he was very well acquainted with the town, had been there for some 4+ years now, as he was greatly concerned about those that he had been forced to leave behind. As he charged on out of the barrel, you guys tried to quickly deal with the situation, having left behind the manor and any hope of trying to withstand this horde. As Mikhail pushed on forward and out of the barrow, you found yourselves in the midst of these mountains strewn with ashfall, as all of you were reflecting back and knowing what transpired, all of those people that you had attempted to save being left to this silent zombie horde, all of them clutching onto their faces, almost a worshipful manner. Still, those images burned in your minds. Mikhail pushed forward into the darkness. Seeing the blood red moon, recognized you were still in the south, and from the ashfall, and very good nature checks, you were able to ascertain perhaps somewhere in the shadowed passes, maybe even the Valley of Pallor. But making your way south towards this light, a distance off, you ran into an outpost leading to the road of the city of Cyntharian, what is this high shrine city to vampiric kind, rumored to be where the first cabals of vampires were blessed by the Unliving Emperor. So a deeply sacred site you have found yourselves close to, as looking the barrow clearly desecrated in some manner, turned from what would have been an ancient burial site for vampiric warriors fallen during the War of Extinction, now turned toward this other darker purpose, yet to be investigated. But, Mikhail, you pushed on throughout the night, seeing the blood-red moon of Sangmoon crest below the horizon. You arrived in Cyntharian. A darkened day, you were greeted by the guards who could certainly see your ragged form, though the Sex Panther did allow you to make a quick time throughout the night, and without too much issue along your passage. As you arrived in the city, you could see a great pale valley of stone where the Wraithspine Mountains connect to the Shadowed Passes. Numerous of what you could describe as mausoleums and cathedrals open up before you, as you had made contact with what seemed to be kind of a somewhat concerned guard, although in your state, not able to estimate whether they mean you harm by any means. But as you were desperate to make it back to Cendre or communicate with them by any means possible, he did tell you that he knows somebody who might be able to help, although you got to be willing to give something up, indicating that perhaps some of your angel-blessed blood may be due payment, as you kind of stand there, not with but the loincloth adorning you, and now kind of like taking off and fitting yourself with the armor again that you had not worn for so long. You feel the burden just kind of overwhelming to get back, to try to desperately reconnect. And so perhaps that connection is at hand, as that is where we will resume, as you guys are just awaking from a long rest. So, Mikhail, as you're walking through the carved stone streets, seem very primitively done, almost as if in ancient days, creatures hewn the stone. You can see the structures lacking the usual detail. These kind of dark stone buildings rising to hundreds of feet high. You can see they have been duly adorned with crimson and black and silver and gold and various other royal colors, indicating various homes. But what you can see, very few merchant stalls by any means, as he's still leading you down this main thoroughfare. You can see again the fang adorned hoods of members of the Unliving sect, that is the followers of the Unliving Emperor, sort of his religious hand in the world as vampires pervade. So, as he's kind of like looking towards you, you are well on towards exhaustion. Uh, as you come up to a building that looks uh, vaguely like a cathedral, although still a very rough hewn structure. As you can see, there is not but a kind of a blackened veil cresting over it. As you can tell, there's a certain ascetic culture that kind of pervades here. He kind of comes up and will draw aside the blackened cloth and will kind of peek inside. Come on in. Keep your voice low.
I'll follow him in.
As you step on in, you can see individuals just shrouded also in black, and then that's where the smell hits you. They are clearly in the midst of some sanguinary rite. You can see people just muttering to themselves. The pale skin, along with other amber tones, other darker complexions, a great mix of people, but you can see all of them lacking any form of teeth. All of them in those fang-adorned hoods, clearly strict adherence to the vampiric religion.
As we walk through, can I make a perception check just to see if anybody's like watching us in particular, or like
this would be kind of like reading. You do notice most people are very drawn into sort of whipping themselves up into this frenzy of prayer almost, but you do notice some individuals are taking note as he is just walking straight in the midst of this. Go ahead and make an insight check.
10.
Directly ahead, you can tell there's certainly a hint of recognition for the individual you're traveling with. He did just introduce himself as a Vorin. You imagine that's kind of like a title, you're vaguely familiar with it, of the Dumonte military. As he's still striding forward his building, you get about 100 feet from that larger clothed entrance you had seen as an individual comes from this main section of altar to kind of greet you. The walls, you can see, just are marked by different sigils in blood, and the smell is just almost overwhelming as he approaches. You can see a kind of a thick beard coming through, though very well groomed. Has that same hood on. And kind of like proceeding forward, you can see a curious eye, but lacking dark vision, kind of like it's hard to tell any shapes. You feel sort of uncomfortable in the presence, but proceed on into what you assume is like kind of like a vestry. And then seated in there, kind of the guard sort of like takes off his helmet. You can see like blackened, sort of like his chainmail, kind of like showing due deference to this individual. This is Groert Truk. He might be able to help you.
Thank you very much.
As you know, he'll kind of like bow again, and then proceed out backwards, leaving you in this small spherical room almost. But you can see there's a slight tilt to the floor, and then there is a central kind of like iron grate at the center. It certainly feels like off, but you're desperate.
Sure.
As you can see, the individual sort of just sets like a little stone stool underneath his knees and just kind of bends down and looks. You can see draws back the hood, and he only has the fangs left. He has not entirely removed all of the teeth.
Great. So, is the door shut behind us, or is it
it's an open the
Okay,
engines and
just
stuff.
open space. Okay.
So, the Warren, he would not bring you here unless you had something to offer or some reason.
Yes, I was told that you could. I'd like to communicate with the village of Cendre, and I was told that you could do that either through dream or teleportation, sending something.
And why would you have me communicate with this place?
I've
This
got,
far to the frontier with concern is of yours.
I've got some friends that I'd like to check on. It's been a little while.
Very well. With all due offering, I might do this. Will you shed blood this day?
If that's what you want, I mean, usually I have my clients wear handcuffs first.
He gives a slight smile. If you have anything else you wish to offer, you may, but if this is not the case, then I have no reason to help you. You seem desperate. I sense that at least.
Desperate times. What can you do to help me?
I will contact Cendre.
Okay. How do you want this blood? Like on a plate? Maybe in a little glass? Little chalice?
If that's how you wish to spit it. You see he'll kind of like stand up. You do hear like clicking in the knees and joints and stuff. Clearly he was quite aged when Undeath took him. As he steps behind, you can see he brings out sort of this large chalice. You can see it is carved of obsidian, and on each point there are sort of these ivory fangs, although they seem far more ornamental, as if not taken from a vampiric individual, more as larger bits of bone carved down. We'll set it in front of you. It is quite a large chalice. If you are willing to fill that, then I'm willing to fulfill my side of the bargain.
Do you have a room that I can go to fill this up? I'm a little shy.
You know you're within a sacred space. Please do not mock our ritual.
I'm not
This is the room you are to
mocking.
be within.
I just am a little shy.
Very well. I will leave you to your business. As he passes the chalice to you, he does exit from it. It is just a kind of an open archway.
Did I see any sort of
chalice? You're kind of like filling that. That's something.
Seems pretty big.
Yeah.
There's no Kool-Aid. Were there any like the meat sacks or whatever that they use? What do you call it?
Chattel.
The room.
Yeah, chattel.
Yeah, they're fairly bare, and you don't see any of the chattel, any of the flesh golems that feast here. You can imagine, due to the holy nature of it, just kind of passive of what you might know, because you've heard, having dwelled within a vampiric town for many years and well traveled, that often, a living humanoid creature is always preferable, and so you can imagine that they'd be very happy to get a little taste of Mikheil.
How much vampires don't technically bleed in this world?
Their blood is kind of coagulated. They're dead. So.
Yeah, so it still technically is. They're not like dried out or anything.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
he did not present you with a knife or anything. You just see the sharpened fangs at the edge of the chalice.
I mean, I can't.
It's like a finger prick. Is what you are kind of like thinking, but that's what's presented in front of you.
So I can't do any spells. I can't like summon an animal and then leave it out.
Yeah, unfortunately, your animals are spirits summoned,
yeah,
so they wouldn't be much use.
Once they die, they just disappear. And I can't. fill it with water and then use a prick and then be like, oh, it's a little thin right now.
You do not see any source of water around you. As you mull this over, it's just been a few seconds of just tracing all this through your head. You're like, I don't want to do this, man.
Do Selahim's blood have any different qualities compared to any of the human?
I mean, it's divine blood the same way. Different blood is profane blood. It's useful and different.
sparkly.
Yeah, is it like golden blood? They're like, we know it's not
glittery.
yours. It's not
So,
Is the blood of a wild-shaped Selahim still Selahim blood?
of a wild-shaped druid selling
Are you
you?
saying
Yeah.
like if I turn into like an elephant and then I bled into something?
Yeah, and then because you're back at full hit points when you turn into your Selahim
but
form,
I
right?
use both my wild shapes to get here.
Well, you're fucked then. I don't
I
don't know what to
I
tell
need
you.
to take a nap somewhere.
know. Don't take it out in the chalice.
Yeah. We're gonna take all the blood
Just
instead.
sleep right here on the floor.
It's like a chop shop.
I gotta sleep
Just-
over.
yeah. Hold on, guys. Okay. Who's just outside of the vestibule? Is he still there? Or is
Many
he
people were kind of out there. You saw what was maybe about 40 or so people have come in here.
Are
in
they
these
all?
early,
Are they all vampire, or are there any that are like
seemingly.
the tag-alongs? Okay. Like those weird goth girls, that like bleed me. And then
Yeah.
I'm a guy in
There's
Dracula.
There's probably some of those, blood boys and blood gals and stuff,
Yeah.
But
It's like e-boys and e-girls, but for blood.
What is even?
Okay.
some people, they like to, be part of that world. Just thinking.
Uh-oh.
I
The
have
chalice
not,
lay there before you.
I have a
This
magic
eerie room
marker.
surrounding you.
I have not urinated this day.
Oh no.
I'm going to do that into the chalice.
You're going to urinate into a sacred blood offering chalice.
Make
So,
sure your aim is true.
As,
so-
as you're kind of like, you're desperate, but you do
I
not
like
want
to have
to
my
fall.
back to the door, though, just so they
So-
can't necessarily. I'll keep it like right in front of me.
You grab the chalice and you
And more
successfully
chalice.
aim
Fill it
and
up. I don't have to roll for it.
fill it up and everything.
Okay.
I hope it,
Constitution check.
I hope it
Um,
doesn't remove the blood from whichever part is closest.
So you now have a chalice full of urine, but not blood.
Okay. And I would like to
You
possibly.
can imagine the individuals, perhaps not far.
What if I? So I'd like to just prick my finger a bit and try to like make a few drops in it. Like I drink a lot of water.
Yes.
I hydrate a lot because of my
course.
job,
And
so my urine should be relatively clear. So if I add some blood to it,
you ran all night long.
I did.
So, as you kind of grip the chalice full of urine,
Remember, it's
you,
not a magic chalice. It's
prick
just a
the
random
thumb.
automatic.
and you start bleeding some, and then like a geyser, it starts spilling
Oh
forth.
shit.
You can't stop it. You're just like instantly go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, ready
Oh,
to faint.
man.
Oh, boy.
13.
13. Before you're able to take any action or anything, you just feel faint. Your head just goes light. The last thing you remember is just kind of the chalice almost gripping to the ground as you see just blood pour. Your eyes just go black.
So wait, it gripped to the ground. It didn't fall and spill, and then I laid in my own urine when I passed out.
Not from what you saw.
Okay. Well, maybe when I wake up, I'm
Did
like,
you put
oh
your,
god.
put your
As-
penis
as you fall to
Oh, great.
unconsciousness
Selahim
within-
urine and blood.
within this temple of the Unliving Sect.
So great.
You
All
didn't.
right.
You didn't
Well-
tuck yourself back, right?
No, I'm
course
still
not.
flying free. I did
So-
roll a new character, guys, just so you know.
Oh no.
Just in case.
Just in case.
That's
He's
not
annoying,
fancy.
but he's
So-
there.
as this transpires, about a day's travel away, the rest of you have come to a darkened morning in the southern hemisphere. Having rested as best you can, not wishing to risk breaking the rest for fear of further undead creatures being within this space, as you had witnessed within these fetid pools numerous limbs of various creatures seemingly gathered. But being able to draw back within the space or proceed on to where you had seen Mikheil go.
I'd like to inspect this place a little more.
I think
Yeah.
we should look
Yeah.
for clues as to why they brought us here.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Otherwise, I mean, he would have just taken us batshit nowhere and killed us that way. This has to have some specific use.
I mean, that makes it sound more ominous, like he brought us here to sacrifice his.
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Okay, so we should
great.
definitely look.
So, proceeding back in, you guys had essentially undone a very large and heavy iron bar on the stone door, so duly reinforced. You push back into the space, cresting past the various pits where these flesh bits lay, back through where you can see there are still the strange scrawlings upon this portion of the ground. Even the stones seem to have turned fetid
We would
Uh,
like to head for
for
that.
that main
Yeah.
door.
We
You
inspect
still see that depiction of this rotted face made up of numerous other zombified faces, like a corpse within some grander
But they're not.
corpse creature, but they're not depicting that.
All right, and nothing in the floor. None of the faces we've gone by. None of them are in that.
None of them depicting that as of yet.
Sure.
You had checked this one.
Yep.
This one had that same depiction as well as this one.
Sir, do these doors have any openings within that you have to put something in there to get these things unlocked?
Most of them just have bars. They are tomb doors, and so they're not meant to be passed within or without quite often. So it doesn't seem like they have a primary locking mechanism. And this one you do see is also bound in some arcane sigils.
This one
This is
specifically.
the center one, yes.
I'd like
And
to-
we did not see those on this one.
Mhm. That was the one he was actually trying to get to.
So I'm like I think the door that person's intestines were crawling toward through here. Maybe we go check that out.
I guess. I mean, I don't really see
Didn't
anything
his
else other than
intestines
those
try to-
tombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We tried getting in there before and didn't have any luck.
Well, when you say try, I don't remember actually grabbing it and just. I'm suggesting that she is rather more
Is there?
muscular
Sure.
than you and I.
Can I look for any mechanisms or any like levers that I can find to get these places open?
Yeah, I make an investigation check, and for your estimation of like your destructive power,
unstoppable.
it is
Right.
made of stone and bounded in some elements of iron, sort of like around the rim of the door is iron to maintain the structure of the stone. You can imagine it's pretty well reinforced. But taking a good like 2 or 3 hours with some blunt object, you would likely be able to destroy the stone and expose the metal behind.
I have a pry bar.
Whoa, sweet.
Crowbar.
Yeah, I'll go at it.
Perfectly. So just go ahead and make 3 athletics check as you're getting in like the first 15 minutes of it.
Can I assist in any way?
Oh, which sure has advantage with the crowbar.
I got a natural 20.
Nice. Okay.
So that's a 21.
So you have
Um,
advantage on all your rolls.
Peeling through as she's just getting ready to cram the bar in there and everything, you do notice that within the mouths of the numerous faces that adorn the door, there are sort of like small mechanisms, almost like you could depress.
I walk up there where she's at and I just
You kind of poke one, and you hear something click inside.
and there's how many of these mechanisms?
Like almost 100.
I hope it's not a
So is this
pattern.
before or after I beat on the door?
You sort of stand there like that.
This opens using whatever I just pressed, but there's way too many for us to be pressing them all at once. So there's got to be some.
Did
type
that
of
one
order.
stay depressed?
Yeah, I heard a click.
Well, then just click the rest of them.
Okay, I'm clicking buttons.
Yeah, with a natural 20 investigation, you continue kind of carrying that through, poking the buttons and stuff, and through all the small little mouths, just depressing them.
Do I notice any particular faces that are the ones staying still? That are staying in place?
All of them are various depictions. No real pattern that you can immediately recognize as far as the faces, but you're noticing a pattern with the buttons that there is, once you get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you hear a larger click on the inside.
Okay. Is the door still shut and locked?
Kind of like push on it some, and seems like it's still pretty solid.
Gosh.
She's still standing there with the crowbar, kind of like, eh?
I mean, y'all hearing the clicks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's gonna open other way. I don't think that your crowbar over there is really gonna help open it. But I mean, it's worth a shot. But I mean, if we can figure
I
this
will
out, we can
Go ahead
Take my tentacles and just.
as you and everything, giving enough time, like a good 10 minutes are passing almost of you guys manipulating these buttons. It doesn't seem to be having a negative effect, but you're hearing on those 8 clicks and everything that it's clicking out and kind of like clicking back. So clearly there's a complex mechanism that has been secured in this door. But go ahead and make intelligence checks, those who are party to this. So it can be everybody.
Yeah, I'll kind of check out the back of this place while they're doing this. Like stuff we haven't looked at yet.
You're kind of peeling around this other direction. You find there are these doors are entirely like ready to be open. Bars kind of removed somewhat. You peel around this direction, and there is the most foul and fetid of stenches pushing from this direction. And what you're noticing is that there is a distinct track of
intestines.
Detritus and offal and excrement that pushes from this direction to this direction. So you continue along the trail through here and stuff. You're getting this done within the first few minutes. As these doors do open quite easily as well, and you see it opens into another passage where the same fouled stone is present. And for your intelligence checks?
13.
18.
18?
Oh, this is
Oh.
3.
Having manipulated enough and stuff, across the faces, you're finding that every 8th button kind of leading, and there's like a joining almost, and you immediately kind of like hands over faces, and so you push the 8 sequences of buttons that are opposite here, kind of depicting a figure clasping their hands over the face. So that 8 and 8, 6, so 16 in total on either side. You guys hear a larger and doubled as the door is unlocked.
Hey.
After about 20 minutes of fiddling and
We
everything.
figured it out for
Darn.
future doors.
So, as you push into the room, you can see laying atop 2 sarcophagi within this sort of almost like brilliant white stone, almost marbled room. There is a set of robes that definitely looks very familiar to you, and you're present there as well.
I imagine all
Yeah,
that.
that's right. Yeah. Oh, for you, it looks very familiar. So both of you recognize robes of the member of the Sepulturian of Soul. As well as you see, there is a veiled ceramic mask present there, along with a beautiful silver reliquary. Kind of looks like a sort of like a veiled face of itself, but you can see that it opens, and you can feel there is an energy within the reliquary. As you kind of peel open the robes somewhat and
I
investigate
am
further,
gonna yell backwards for Vicar.
you kind of hear echo through.
I'm yelling, found a mask, doors open.
As that's drawing your eye first, there's something else inside the robes.
Something
Can I
organic?
Something organic indeed.
Can I cast?
As you guys were holding there.
I will do out of primeval awareness, and expend a slot.
taking like just a minute to focus and everything.
Well, it lasts for a minute. It's not so much of a focus of a minute.
I think it takes a little bit of time, doesn't it?
It lasts a minute for each time that you do it. It's like an action to do it.
As you focus, there are undead surrounding in this space, but no elementals, fiends, fae, or any other creature. But then you're in the mountains within 6 miles. Further out in the vicinity, there are those creatures present.
I am going to excrete the 2 hand crossbows into my tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
And
As you kind of like come pacing back and
Yeah,
everything.
they
Yeah, so sit on the back here in the back.
out.
Nothing that you pushed on towards yet, but hearing his call and everything, you come back and you keep on going.
I'll probably keep on going in the back.
So,
If they're
as
dangerous,
you're
this
ready and
way.
everything, just looking,
I'm gonna walk up towards the rope.
within there, you are immediately seeing beneath sort of the familiar gloves of linen that there is a sort of flap of flesh. As you kind of peer further, this is a suit of a human figure.
So it's a skin suit.
Skin suit, basically.
Would it offend you, winged lady, if I shot that?
No. What? Why would
Well, I think
Or
it's
it's
just I think it's just like one of those morph suit things. You just put it on and you're another person.
What?
It's a suit of skin. It's a suit of skin, is what it is.
So as you crept
It's a
forward,
skin suit.
you did notice on the other side of this sarcophagi, there are gray linen robes there, as well as a heavy chain with the symbol of Kyme on it.
These-
you can see that there is within these robes as well, sort of more folded up, that there is a dark skinned other skin suit there.
So that fucker we just fought is changing his form into these suits. And perhaps the real person is the organs that we just slain.
I prod
Okay.
the skin.
No reaction.
I lift the
If
robe.
you go back, it is a foul facsimile of a human form.
Where's the
female, depicting sort of like ruddy of hair, kind of eyebrows that are even worn off by the constant wearing of a veil and mask.
Can I make the mouth go up and down?
You can.
Where's the body of the person that we slain? I'm gonna go.
That's back in here.
I'm going back
it's
there.
stripped about. It is mostly just guts, and you go back and look, and these guts were inside of a vampiric skin suit.
Nice. Yeah, this wasn't even his real. This wasn't even his true form. So he probably wasn't even a vampire. I can't even tell. It's not even his final.
Do you have any oil?
You do look next to the robes. There is a scroll case next to the Kyme robes, and that reliquary adjacent to the sepulturing soul in those robes.
I don't trust that reliquary.
I reach over and pick up the scroll tube. Bring it over.
It's like a full scroll case.
Oh.
So a little bit bigger. You put it back in there. You see you got it, unless you want to peek inside. Just has a little latch hinge on it.
Seems unwise.
Can I cast?
Pop it open.
Can I? Well, wait. Can I
As
cast?
he's just getting ready to do. Like, wait.
I was like, let's just double check, make sure there's nothing foul around here, and I'm gonna cast detect.
I look
magic.
over at him and
Detect
do
magic.
this with the face.
There
What do
is
you mean
evocation
foul?
magic on the reliquary, and there is no magic coming from. Well,
From the scroll inside
from
the
the
tube?
scroll case, there is
Abjuration.
divination magic coming from within the scroll case.
Within. Ooh.
Within.
Okay.
The magic
I
was
forgot. The
within.
scroll case
all
would not
along.
block detect magic.
Magic
It has
was
to be a little
within,
bit
yeah.
thicker.
Yeah.
But,
So using 2 arms, I'm going like this with the
It's
face when
definitely
I
it's definitely magical.
the scroll case is very fine. It is engraved for a member of Kyme. It does say on the underside, property of Adept Vosi Saitin.
You guys write it down.
It does show that there's kind of a lot of scrolls wrapped up there, as well as some other bits of
How do
parchment.
we spell that?
VOSY
I'm gonna take the reliquary.
SEITEN. Vosi Saiten.
I'm gonna grab the reliquary.
Grabbing the reliquary and stuff, you feel there is an energy about it.
He says that
Giving off evocation.
He says that
It's
opens up,
a reliquary of kind of like a visage of a veiled woman's face.
Yeah.
That the face kind of splits in half and opens, but you guys have not yet opened it.
Right. Is the reliquary itself glowing?
No,
Or is
not
it
glowing.
glowing of magic, or
but
is it?
not glowing of its own accord, but glows with evocation magic. When you
Right.
cast
That's
magic on it. Yeah. It has this kind of like almost warm reddish glow to it.
I'm gonna
veiled
keep
face.
this for now.
Is
Throw
that
this back.
part
Mark
of
reliquary.
the path?
The like soul?
Is it soul? I didn't think soul or man. I don't know.
What are you asking about?
Sepulchurian of soul. Yeah.
You
Soul-
people all look alike.
Soul is it's the people with the veils over their face. It's for like death and undeath. It's the god.
Soul's the god of death and
goddess,
undeath?
but
Being the
So, it's a religious thing to make her face split open?
I don't know about that.
I-
That may just be
that-
that just
that's-
may be
no,
something.
no.
That's different.
Well, it's like a triptych where you would fold it open in a religious manner, and it's not depicting the goddess herself you're picking out. It's more depicting a member
Yeah.
of the Sepulchurian.
It's just a depiction of their idol, the idol. And it's known of a woman's face with a veil over it. That's kind of the holy symbol per se.
I'm never going to get the hang of this.
You got it.
As you guys kind of evaluate this,
Add plus
as
one to
you're
your
pushing
religion.
on, you make your way down here through these kind of well-traveled spaces, and you can see that there is a door here that is closed, and you peel up around here, and you can see the door here is open.
I'll try that open door.
Kind of like snaking down the hall. The smell is just overwhelming. But you crest down that way, and you can see on top of the sarcophagi that was in here that there's sort of a loose form of desk where there's just strewn with papers, kind of bits and scrap. Most of them, like you flip through them and look blank. Then as you kind of lift up one, you see that there is a wad of vellum skin. As you're kind of like looking at it, you do see that it is bound in a waxen symbol depicting a 8-fingered hand, kind of clenched, much of like what you had seen rise spectrally as the necropolis took over Cendre.
That's the symbol.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Is there a stamp or something somewhere in?
Looking around, you do see that there is sort of that stamp, roughly.
Yeah, I'll grab that.
Wax and stuff. You do see the sealed letter there that has that stamp.
I'll take that, and I'll search the desk really
So-
thoroughly before I.
You take the sealed vellum letter,
Oh.
and as you touch it, you feel like, this is some other type of skin. This is human skin, humanoid skin.
It's my skin.
Just, I guess before I go through the desk.
But you pop the seal and looking through it, it's just paper set on top of the desk. You can see that there's lots of ink stains there. Clearly, like a lot of correspondence is done here, but that's the only sealed one you found.
Okay.
So the letter's on human skin.
Letters on human skin.
Is there one of your humanoid gods that has 8 fingers?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, one of the shadowed path, I believe.
As you're kind of by yourself and just looking on and everything, as you guys are still there investigating this, flipping through the scroll case,
Yeah.
you are finding that whoever's body this was working on an essay on the final stand of Pontiff Astrachius. Has a bunch of notes about Senstasian battles, meeting Dumonti forces in the War of Extinction. So, sort of just like small history treatise but more of like compiled notes on it instead of a
And what was
proper
that
book.
last name?
Pontiff Astrocaius.
Well,
ASTROCAIUS.
while he's looking at it, can I use my detect magic to focus more on what particularly in that scroll is
As
magical?
you're just like flipping through there, you focus, and you do find there is a compartment that maybe you would have just taken for holding like inkwells or anything, but there are 2 chalks in there. One you can see looks like a large bit of gem encrusted chalk, and the other one you can see has a dark metallic glint that is centered in it, and that is the one giving off the divination.
Is the dark one?
Magic is the dark one.
I go. I mean, like check right here. There's that's where the magic's coming from, my friend.
I find the entire world is magical, but
Well, this is actual magic.
As you'll come running
Reach
back.
in.
Yeah. I'm gonna finish searching through the desk.
Yeah. So it was
There's
literally they
that
just made a
black
certain
one is the one that's
top
magical.
protecting as it was.
All right, then I'll
So
take
there's no like drawers.
what
or
if papers
anything.
that were there. I'll shove them in a pack. I'll see
So
whatever's there.
there was actually like 32 bits of parchment there and stuff, along with this bit of
Wanna
skin.
mark
So
it
you're
down,
kind of
too.
like maybe they wrote some paper letters, but this must have been a special
Okay.
one or something.
pretty lady, is this?
I'll run back.
Yeah. As a vicar, you see kind of
I
running
just
back.
hand you the scroll.
Huh?
It seems religious-y.
It's a full scroll as well as the scroll case. It holds like a good like 3 or 4 uses of like calligrapher's supplies.
Ooh.
So
Ooh,
fancy.
and
some
there's
tiny
this
inks and pens.
gem-covered chalk
There's one. The black one's
and
magical.
this black chalk.
Looks like it's encrusted with like a citrine almost.
I mean, I don't know if any of you have identifying magics, but I'm sure if we were to visit my father, whenever we get there, he'll be able to tell us. But
Or is anybody now present? As you can see, a vicar walking in holding this
I
bit
can
of vellum.
identify.
oh,
Whoa! Look out! But you can make an Arcana check and see what you can suss out about it immediately.
So do I know if Sanguith has 8 fingers?
You like go back and
Or wait, Sanguith is a title.
Same with his title.
That'll be a solid 11.
11 gem encrusted chalks. Oh, that's teleporting chalks. So you guys have about a good use of the teleporting chalk.
I say, can you do
I'm gonna-
the reliquary real
18.
quick too?
Sure.
On the Arcana
Check
check.
the reliquary.
Definitely a gem encrusted chalk worth 1 teleportation circle casting. Probably.
That would
like
involve
a magic item.
a
or
wizard
like a
casting.
More like
Casting.
somebody can cast it, they can use this as a consumable component.
But the black chalk.
The black chalk with an 18, he said it was giving off divination. You're not sure.
Maybe it's like, well, I don't know. I'm not really good with magic stuff of that kind.
So I think our Selahim friend is more important than we thought.
What do you think?
It seems like
Sex Panther?
from what this letter says that
That letter looks pretty weird.
it's flesh, skin.
Right.
You can't just say that calmly.
I will snake a tongue out my finger and lick it.
It's like licking dry skin.
So based on what I can gather from this letter,
Psoriasis.
they marched on Cendre and wanted to bring any outsiders here, specifically the Selahim, to kill him and make sure he can't go to wherever Salahims go when they die. But
I don't know where that's at.
here they said they're going to meet after the new year in Skir. Is that a place?
Yeah.
Skir. I'm not familiar with it, but
Skir?
Here, let me take a look at
He
that.
says
Well,
that-
you hold it,
Go
and I'll
ahead.
read it.
There you go.
Print
You
is
see
actual
Sorna
skin.
putting on her face.
Immersion.
I literally made that, guys.
That'll be a 15.
A 15. Like no city you've ever heard of or anything in your experience, unfortunately.
How do you spell it?
Wait.
Scure. Skewer.
SQSCURE. Yeah, I can spell.
Wouldn't that be skewer?
Yeah, it's like sure, but with a C
So,
after the S. After the S.
Something like sure.
Sure.
Skior.
Skewer.
Well, you must speak several languages, and you speak several languages.
I speak
Yeah.
1.5.
Hold on,
Yeah,
we're
more
really
than enough.
So, what language does that seem? Elven or dwarven?
What skier? I shall meet you in skier just after
Sounds
the new
common
year
to me.
to hear if another of the princes wake.
He mentioned a princess.
Yeah, is he a prince?
Prince. I don't know which one's prince. It says another millennia shall pass before he's taken back. We must strike back. Is the prince the guy in the big middle corridor? Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Most certainly.
You want to go check? We all want to check this out.
What language did
Did you
we need to figure out?
did you think
Do you
it?
feel like skewer is most like a common
Skier
expression?
is it's not.
Does anybody speak Dwarven?
No.
I speak primordial and dragonic.
Yeah.
Dragonic.
So
Probably the
not able to
Selaheen.
suss out anything.
Well, regardless, I feel like he should see this letter.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure. We got to
okay,
find
well.
him, but I want to kind of suss this place out before.
Yeah,
we
no,
really
there's
go
still a
out.
couple places.
You keep this with you.
Entering the room, you can see there are Kyme robes there, as well as Sepulturian soul robes.
Did you
And,
find any other
really
people?
good for anybody looking for
Well,
disguise,
like-
certainly.
Like people's
I take
skins?
I've only been in one of the
And put
rooms
them
so
in-
far.
My holla.
Okay.
So
Alright.
soul holy symbol, Archime adept chain, as well as adept robes,
Can
and soul vestments.
Sora, do you mind identifying this reliquary real quick?
Sure, I'll identify that
All
All right.
as a ritual.
Taking a minute and stuff, and kind of focusing and touching the item, manipulating it. You are able to identify its properties.
Snap.
There you are.
Ooh,
But you don't have to share that.
it's in my possessions.
She's been touching it for the past minute.
I'm not gonna tell you. Well, then you can't have it.
She's like, it's junk and puts it in her bag.
Is there anything else in this room?
Not present within this room.
Two sarcophagi.
The sarcophagi and everything, they are still sealed. Unlike the other sarcophagi in this room, these are the only ones that he bothered to put different pieces of flesh in. These other ones seem sealed, but you can't crack them open. You have a crowbar.
So
we should
it's
crack
not
crack
junk,
them open.
but I'm keeping it.
Cracking open, you do see what is ruined
It's a restore
armor
reliquary.
of
What it'll
Dwarven
give me.
soldiers.
Ruined is in the leather pieces are rot, or the metal is also.
The metal
Yeah.
is also patinaed by age and would not stand up to any blow. But looks
They-
about like
they
the
same in
achievement. Cracking both of them, yes.
Yeah.
As you see, they kind of like have a little bit of a spar over this reliquary. But the chalk's still yet to be identified. You
Well,
can
shit,
see
I can heal
it.
too.
So,
Fine. Here.
kind of reveling in the
Yay.
fact
You're a
that
little religious type.
certainly this reliquary shaped like some priest of soul will provide some
Check
element
that,
of aid.
If you have the chance, check the chalk.
So the talking
Okay.
the
We'll get
talking
the
head
black
can
chalk
do
too.
something.
Huh?
The talking head can do something.
Well, it's not a
It's
talking
this
head.
little
Well,
talking head.
I
well-
grab it.
It's not-
oh wait. If the
And you
spell,
see it very
if,
much
if
mimics
the item
Stop
works
it,
the
use
way,
that.
if the item,
It just
Nar.
casts all the spells.
But it does this.
Did you wear that?
well, actually, it
As a
makes sense. If
disguise?
it maybe it does.
If I
talk
weren't
if it casts
8
that
foot
spell.
tall,
I guess in a way
I think
it
the
does.
dark elf skin is not going to fit.
So
me.
you're saying it'd be like Men in Black? with the-
It'd be
Oh
an
shoot!
Egger
Yeah,
suit.
you could. I
yeah.
mean, if you want to wear the suit,
yeah, exactly. I
Alright,
could wear
alright,
the
maybe don't.
human, but I don't.
I mean, it could be a good disguise for you.
Certain people
not,
have
not so much wearing the skin
Nice.
suit as just having the clothes is probably pretty good.
yeah, because
uh,
in reality,
Eldritch
I am
Archon
a
Adept is
a
not-
master of disguise
unseen.
and languages.
So-
I just
Well, yeah.
need a
close
proper
up.
Taking
disguise.
what you can from this room,
Yeah,
there
close
is
up, ropes
a
up.
bar on this side that you can open up and lead you into another passage.
Should we go try that main door?
I would
and
like to.
push the mouths.
Well, we got 3 more doors, I
I'm
think,
gonna
to check
just
out.
identify the black chalk.
All right, taking a minute and stuff. You guys see she is filled with consternation and focus as you do
Whoa.
identify that one as well.
She's like, I'm also keeping her.
Hang on, I haven't read it yet. I haven't decided.
I found that one! I found that!
And you see she just kind of fiddles with the chalk and everything as you guys are continuing along. Back to here where Vicar had found this
Yeah, show us
initially.
what
Yeah,
you
it's
want.
probably
You guys push into this
that one,
chamber,
show us, yeah, the shut
able
door,
to
that's it.
open it. You do see there are other sarcophagi there. Can be cracked open if you wish.
Oh.
Any guys?
Everything very similar, although one of them is entirely in what you're now becoming more familiar with, Unliving Sect vestments. The teeth still ornamenting the ragged hood, decayed by time. You can tell
Could be an
hundreds
item
of
goblin.
years.
How are the
Stop.
teeth?
There's just a piece of
Ancient.
information on here that
No,
needs to
quite
be,
old.
I picked
needs
up
to
a
be
tooth
stated.
and,
Okay.
and put it in.
You got one little dangler there.
Can I?
30 points.
What was this? Is this vampire actually
They
dead?
are tarnished by time. You can see it was kind of like silver, extremely tarnished, depicting the
Actual
Unliving
silver?
Sect.
I'll
So-
take.
So
There's,
this is
there's
what
one
the
of
chalk
them.
does.
I'll take that. Turn
It's
this.
like, if
But-
you keep on taking all my
But then the
items you
other one
identify,
is,
then I'm going to my
armor
pops.
and-
Listen, I could have just left you behind in that shadows situation.
You were stuck there just as much as me.
But anyway,
check out the next room.
Are there limited uses on that?
So you want to go
you
that
can-
way?
You can
or
keep
over
using
there?
it. It just takes a
The
long
next
time
room
to
that has
trace
two,
it out.
Gotcha.
the 4 coffins. That's probably the next.
So you don't want to open this?
We'll do that last.
Mhm.
Oh,
As you
okay.
go down here, you
Pretty
do
good.
see.
If you want it,
um,
you can keep it, or unless you want to trade these.
As Vicar and Nar just kind of like and everything, as Sorta and Voro almost argue like brother and sister. You do see there are 4 very small sarcophagi contained within there.
Like little people.
Small, like
Small
children?
like child.
Children are
size.
element. Probably children.
Element.
Probably this barrow was before the element
Yeah.
were
I
brought.
crack one
Start
open.
cracking children coffins.
Start cracking children.
On down the way. You do find children buried in armor and vestments.
Was there a children's battle?
Probably all hands on
The
deck.
child's cult.
Think a moment.
Vampires, yeah.
Vampire children.
Yeah.
They could be
So
hundreds
not
of
real
years old.
children.
So not
Don't
real
trust the children.
Nah, it's just
So.
Little League Warriors.
So
Like
that's what you find.
like
So these are all
Fight.
soldiers in here?
with nursery
Soldiers and
school
a couple
children.
of
Quote,
vestments and
unquote.
stuff.
Do they have
I'll take
teeth?
more holy
As-
symbols.
As you guys are seeing, he is grave robbing. Both of you are noticing.
We
It's like,
just grabbed.
like you know, that, well, was in context. You're kind of like, we're taking kind of what we need and stuff. And that was like, I mean, like he's like cracking open sarcophagi, and it's definitely like odd. You're like, I mean, this guy's just like
Something
klepto or
about that's not
something.
right.
Like,
I'm-
Hey, I gotta eat too.
I want
What?
so you can sort
Don't
of
eat it.
You eat, wait, you eat metal?
About it,
You eat
something.
holy symbols?
No, you can change goods for.
I'm gonna fit
Okay,
some
other
more
goods,
teeth
sure.
in my
I thought
mouth.
you were just gonna eat the corpses.
Right.
Oh.
Well, I don't
I
care
try
either way.
smiling at people, see if anyone
Yes.
notices.
He has 2 ancient yellowed teeth.
Why are those in your mouth?
Is there 2 more in here?
I thought it would put people at ease.
Can we?
Not when they're yellow.
Let's focus on the task at hand. What's that other room that's surrounded by all this shit?
As you push into
Yeah.
here, this one is almost like entirely crushed in. There's still a small bit of a doorway, and now you're kind of like, oh, there's a reason he was going out and around and stuff, because this doorway is clearly like collapsed a bit in on itself. You
Right.
can barely like see where the iron and stone is just crunched.
Did you say there was spore here?
No, just that there's like offal and like excrement and
Footsteps.
viscera and stuff.
So there's
Strewn in.
excrement?
Mm-hmm.
Gross. Oh,
Well-
my hooves are getting a little dirty.
Yeah, yes, but
Oh.
excrement
Super
would indicate an excretor and something a lot.
Well,
Bilious
Hey,
nature
but
to it and
as
stuff.
as we've already
Just
established
get
that
corpses.
the guts are what the person is and not the skin suit. So for all we know, he could be taking his clothes off for a bit of a leisurely walk around the place and leaving a bunch of bile all over the place.
Are you saying he's walking and shitting?
Yeah. I mean, if you have intestines that go nowhere except out with nothing to stop them from going out, something's going to happen while you move.
I'm not And I will follow the trail of excrement.
It leads on in through here, and you see there is what estimated so far the largest open bit of that sort of bile that is stewing, fermenting. You're not even sure the different undead bits that try to like breach the surface.
How
Faces, skulls, hands, legs, torsos, all chopped up and put into these pits.
Is that
All
open
through
across there with the sarcophagus?
There is another door there.
There's a door.
close
I'm going to
Close shut.
I'll jump across.
leap across.
Leaping across is no issue with everybody's strength score. You do see that they are reacting, like the faces and the hands kind of creep up a bit, but like a good like smack or two and stuff, and they are pushed back into there. So no real threat yet, although you can see they're growing increasingly active. In your
But they're still
presence.
parts, right?
They're still
Not
just parts.
okay.
But you get to the door, and this one also has the same depiction of the numerous zombified faces comprising a greater whole.
I will check for traps.
Investigation check.
15.
Okay. No seeming traps by any means.
I will try the same pattern and
I
see.
will help.
Pushing.
And then
Set apart.
spread the door apart.
As you pull the door, you do see there is this single central sarcophagi, but you see this one has been opened and breached.
Well, I mean, we were going to do that. I walk up
Well,
to
then
it.
something else did it before we did.
Well, I'm sure the guy that we killed was the original body. That's what I feel like if he's moving out so much.
The original
Skin suit.
what body?
The skin suit of the vampire fella.
We didn't leave any of those skin suits in that room, did we?
No, they're
I mean, I'd rather not take it with me.
They're in
Okay.
my,
You took the skins as well?
yep, they're
Okay.
in my.
Okay, we need to make sure it's
pack.
All right.
Don't take those out in public.
You
Don't
your
wear
form
the
will not be-
teeth.
No, that's good
Don't wear
advice.
the skin.
We've talked about this.
but the sarcophagus is certainly breached, but it is set firmly on top of it.
There's no
I
lines
will
or
go
anything,
look.
though, leaving traces.
Look at it.
No inscription. You
Yep.
Go
lift
with
it up, and you feel a rush of air from
Ooh.
below, foul, and it
Is there a
passes
hole?
into darkness
Ooh,
below, beyond your dark
a
vision,
secret
Below?
door.
But so more than 60 feet
more
down.
than 60 feet down.
Hmm.
Do you want me to come in there and look?
The secret door.
You give a peek over and everything.
I'll jump over the
it,
thing.
it passes beyond your 90 feet.
90 feet.
It's a secret passage.
I
drop a
have
torch?
rope. You wanna?
Sure. I'll light a torch and
You drop a torch down. You see it fall and fall and fall until it keeps passing and you lose the light. You're not sure.
Well,
Huh.
There's
I have
a lot of,
slow
from
fall
what you
now.
can see, there's a lot of open air.
not from that
And
height.
both of you have the expertise to know you guys are above the hated sheer. That's probably just a sheer open chasm below. Maybe no way to traverse it apart from flying.
well, if we,
Get down there, Sona.
As the torch was falling, were there ledges, pillars,
Not that it was hidden, it was
creatures?
just open.
Well, but from what I could see, as it started to
it
fall,
was just a straight,
and then it
down
just
and
dropped
just
into
opened up
darkness.
blackness.
Okay.
That's creepy. Well, that shows.
I'm gonna yell into it, into the abyss, just like
Just
just like
screaming
a
it.
guttural
I'm an idiot. You're
loud
an idiot.
noise.
I'm pretty sure there's a
You
saying.
just kind of like give a huh. You hear Brim saying, "Not into the abyss. No, come on." And like you can feel that he's definitely ill at ease with you yelling into
When
darkness and depths.
You yell into the abyss, it yells back into. Isn't that a saying of your people?
Yeah.
It very well could be, but it echoes for a bit
Do I hear anything?
and make a perception check.
The scat man starts playing.
Oh no, Scatman?
As soon as we can.
No, it's fine.
Perception. 19.
19.
Nice.
You hear the echo carry on, and you're not hearing any sort of response.
We should close this back up.
popping that back on there.
Well,
And now you guys have explored
fluid.
most of the area, but you do see there is a door here. But you had checked around here, and these doors are open as well. So likely there's some connecting portions there that you guys can investigate relatively quickly. In total, with everything, you guys have been to this about a good half an hour.
So I'll go open that door.
Let's go.
You lift off the bar; it opens outwards. You don't see that same depiction. This one still bears the crest of the Unliving Sect, as they had sanctified this barrow. As you guys are pushing through here, there is another closed door here, but you do kind of give it a slight push, and it is not sealed on the other side.
Is the Unliving Sect the good gods or the bad guys?
I don't think any of them are good or bad. They just are.
All right.
Since Stasi is really what defined what's good and bad, there's not really a for sure, black and white setting. So,
Should we try the big door?
yeah,
Well,
let's check
I'm
this
gonna
one.
push that door. The rest
Yeah,
of
let's
way
check
open
this
and
small
walk in
Pushing
there.
it on open,
Yeah.
you can see that it is.
I have a crossbow out in front of me.
ready.
Yes.
You can see that it is a cavern that was beginning to be hewn out, but not finished. Clearly, this barrow ignored that it was left unfinished should they need to bury any more war dead. But
Actually, can I use 2 of my arms to hold the crossbows over my head, pointed down like that, and use the other 2 to open the door?
it takes more than 10 pounds of pressure for your multi-limbed portions. Your 2 main limbs and stuff have to give a little push and everything.
All right.
Just
But easy enough.
tiny limbs.
You have the ready to action with both of them because it's an open door. You just got to use a little bit of movement to. But that's what you find within there. You do find another open door here. And as you push into here and notice the door partially ajar, there. Okay. You do notice as you open.
What is that?
Oh, here there are portions for where the sconces are supposed to go or anything.
There's nothing in
But
there.
no, there's nothing in there.
And that's what?
Part of like the central portion where they had not yet carved and created another support structure.
It's a weight bearing.
Basically, they were carving out a natural portion of the cavern, and they left this stalagmite column in there for support because they had not yet put up the arches to support it yet.
Is the carving any good?
It's decent masonry work, but has been ignored for hundreds of years now. So, but looking ahead to the next door, you guys do see it is slightly ajar, giving it a bit of a push. You do see that there are heads that immediately push up, and their eyes fix on you, a sickly jaundiced color of other rotten creatures within this space, and you can kind of see they rise up a bit, a chest kind of following them, and sort of like arms reacting to your presence.
Like it's going to join together?
Almost.
I shoot it in the head.
Anyways, I start
So
shooting.
using 2 bolts real quickly, go ahead and make attack rolls. It's reacting very slowly.
A 15 and a 10.
Yeah, both those. You need to roll damage, just a 2 good. As it kind of comes back down, and you can see it kind of disincorporates itself somewhat. So clearly, some good kicks or some good hits are enough to kind of scatter them a bit of their reanimating essence. But if this place was ignored long enough, you're
Can you
there's a horde waiting in here.
Can you do something to the goo, holy lady?
What?
I don't know. Undead the goo?
Undead the goo.
Ungooify.
Do you not have undeadify a goo?
Well, what is that? What exactly
No.
does that benefit us for doing that?
Does the talking silver head undeadify goo?
Yeah, and there is
No.
another open door this direction.
I'm gonna go back out in front.
What?
I'll hang out in the middle until you're all ready.
So we'll go through that one.
Yeah. Pushing through, you find similar circumstance as well as the other door. This one's still bearing the sigil of the Unliving Sect. So clearly this portion had not yet been remade for their purposes.
So we'll go out this way and
Going
around.
around through there and
To
stuff.
Here.
You push through here and you find that it is that
'Cause we did
sealed
open-
door on the
yeah.
other side. You had not opened that one. And coming out through here, this is the only one that remains sealed, and that is the one that has the arcane sigils on it, as well as it is the larger face, the yawning face comprised of other hundreds of zombie visages.
When you said what good would it do, why would you want a bunch of undead wandering around in here?
I unfortunately cannot do anything about this.
I mean, the goo doesn't really hold that. I mean, they're not that strong. I mean, that's the first
Not
one.
now.
I know,
That's
but
the
what
only
if a
one.
child wanders in here?
Well, close the door, but
What
I mean,
child
why would
is going to be
what
wandering
child
this area?
is climbing
Curious
a
ones.
mountain?
How did they get here?
Don't your children have any curiosity?
Not that.
Didn't you
dangerous.
climb mountains as a child?
No, not really. Not till I hit my teens.
Hey, Billy, let's go check out that barrow.
Oh,
I heard it's haunted.
oh, jeez, Billy, why does your mom let you explore 2 barrows?
So you're saying you're just fine with undead just wandering around going, until someone wanders in and gets eaten?
Looking at the speed that it took for that thing to get out of that little portal for you to shoot that, it's gonna be fine.
You saw you shot it, and it immediately started attempting to reanimate. So you feel like this is just like magic essence that's continually reanimating them, as you had picked up with your detect magic initially last session and stuff. That this fetid stone is giving off necromantic energy. This is clearly a desecrated space.
Can't you,
I
you know, you say those words and you go, this is now a place dedicated to my gods versus their gods.
Listen, I know what you want me to do, but I cannot do that.
If you're so worked up about it, why don't you do it?
I don't have any gods.
Exactly. Now, can we get back to this door?
Okay, fine. I go back to the door and
Back
check
to the
it out.
door.
So this door has been previously checked out.
Yes.
Yeah, you have not.
Well, we didn't really check it out.
This
We kinda
one
decided.
I did.
does have numerous other faces, where the other one was perhaps about 100. This one is probably triple that.
I will start reaching in every
Uh,
mouth with. I take all 4
as-
tentacles and
As
form.
you form
Yep.
multi-limbed exoskeleton, as you push on and begin manipulating it, as you strike sort of that 8th one, attempting to go in the same pattern, you can just like feel this energy overtake you as you just take 1 point of necrotic damage.
Ew.
As you can see, sort of one of the faces exhale this blackened energy.
It bites
Don't.
So I skip that button and do the pattern with every 7 buttons and see.
Attempting yet another 1 point of damage. Clearly, this one has magic to attempt to trying to manipulate it wildly to try and strike the right combination for these very complex doors, it seems.
So I will try to.
Make another intelligence check.
I'm going to look
So-
for where the hands would pull apart and see if I can find the pattern to match that.
Can I
Just
help?
another intelligence check with advantage, as both of you try to suss it out, as you attempt to make the clenched hands aware of the 8-pointed
A
fingers.
19?
19. Striking through, you're still hearing, like, as you're hitting that 7, something inside there's changing, but as soon as you're hitting that 8, that is when it hit exhale this energy.
But did I hear
and you had
a
an 8 intelligence check? Is that-
19?
Oh, 19, excuse me.
No,
At
man.
11.
19, you're kind of beginning to understand that perhaps this locking mechanism needs to be opened by a specific type of creature.
Let's go grab that skin, Sue.
So perhaps you are far too alive to really pick out, because
It really is
necrotic energy.
Pull out the elf skin, put my fingers inside the dead elf skin, and start going like this with
You
the
take
dead.
1 more point of necrotic damage, as that does not make you undead, unfortunately.
Well, no, but the skin touching it is now dead.
Well, undead and dead are different things, unfortunately. But
I think you're on the right track. We should get one of those undead.
I go over to the
Oh,
goo
go grab one of the hands, man.
and grab a hand.
okay, you get a hold of the hand and stuff. You can see just the sludge coursing off of
You're
it
just like, hold
as you
still.
strike.
I take it, I break off 3 of the fingers, go over with the other finger.
You see him. He is attaching the undead fingers onto his limbs.
Sort of runs
And
and
just-
vomits.
Wait. You could just use the hand.
I am using the hand.
No, the actual hand, man.
I am.
I thought you broke the fingers.
Oh no, I'm not wearing. I'm using the hand. I just got rid of the 3 fingers I didn't need, and I'm
Okay.
using the other one to poke.
He was like, you put the fingers
No,
on.
I
was like, what?
In the most macabre of displays, you are beginning to depress that sequence of 8, and then 8 more. As you can see, the faces sort of twist and bend away from it as this rusted metal door. You see the blight almost just exhale from it as it is unsealed.
Nice.
You think I could use a nose?
Use a what?
No,
No.
you're fine. You're beautiful the way you are.
A
Let's go
nose.
in.
No, stop fucking
As the
with
door
things.
does open out, you just kind of begin to grip it. You can feel the necrotic energy just coursing over you as you begin to open it. And then you see within this growing greenish black sigil, where at the center there is a sarcophagus that lay cracked, almost like drawn down to the earth.
This is a prince man.
I think this is where they wanted to kill Mikheil.
On the sarcophagus?
I thought this is where they were going to revive the prince or something like that.
Or maybe
And
both.
that's
I don't
what-
know.
Couldn't you do both at the same
I mean,
time?
this place is specifically very. It's different from everything else.
And
So
those
you see
are
there are the different
braziers or
various pillars. There are
Pillars.
sconces in there. The room is dark, just a light from the dull greenish black glow.
Can I check
The
the
sigil surrounding you.
stability of the floor, considering we just saw that we're right above an abyss?
The floor certainly seems
seems sturdy enough.
seems quite stable.
You can step on it. It's like, yeah, that's not the question.
But you don't notice that there's going to be any issue of cave-in or otherwise.
Well, you're like the.
But just the sarcophagus, almost like it was crushed by a giant hand, is now just
I walk
like
up
it was drawn down through the earth.
to the sarcophagus.
As
I'll
you
follow.
as you walk in, you feel the necrotic energy as you're just getting up to the edge of the arcane sigils that are aglow.
I take the hand,
Well,
reach
wait.
down, and touch the sigil.
As you just like very edge, depress onto the sigil, you can see the hand just coming to life and begins kind of cresting around, almost like it's looking and searching, and you see it kind of begins to grab onto
It's
your
crippled.
leg.
It only has 1 finger and a thumb.
So it grabs on.
So I will,
It's doing the palm scoop.
I will pick it up.
Like
and
galloping.
everything. Nearer to the sigil, you can see it is given new foul unlife. As you can like throw it and break it and stuff. Not that it can damage you effectively, but it is trying to grab on.
Bite
Totally
off
good
the other
attention
finger
right
and
now.
spit the finger out, so it just has the thumb.
You take a point of poison damage as you.
I'm Eldritch.
Stop.
It's just 1 point as you put this fetid.
You take half of
thing
1 point.
and everything. It's gross enough
Now
that
your
it
hit
drains
points are
your
at a
stamina.
I'm like,
As you see, the thumb is just like violently trying to strike at him. It's no effect, but still
trying
in
to
the
get him
room,
to thumb
and
more.
you see that Nar is certainly entertaining
What?
himself,
Victor,
laughing in the face of death. Certainly.
You want to take a look at this with me while he's preoccupied?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll step into the room.
Okay, let's go.
this field right in front of me seems to reanimate dead. I don't know if I would stick my living flesh in there.
So it's dark in here?
Mhm.
Well,
Light on
It's
the
just a
torch?
soft dim light glow
I'm
and
not-
everything.
Although
Dead, so
Frank here says thumbs up.
His name? You named it?
I'm gonna
You still
kinda-
see it's in the middle of one person thumb war.
I'm gonna kind of like wave my hand over where the sigil is.
Alrighty. As your hand crests over there, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
8.
8. Alright. Your hand withers.
oh no.
You need that.
Oh
Did you just lose a hand?
my god.
You just lost a hand.
No.
As you will take 12 points of necrotic damage, and your hit point max is reduced by that amount, and you will not regain use of your hand until your hit point max is increased or you receive magical healing.
Okay.
As you're just one-handed, it is just withered away instantaneously.
Okay, so
We're leaving this room.
Well, wait.
I have an idea.
I'm listening.
So if we cut your hand
Nope.
off,
And I'm no longer listening.
Sane is just like,
We should leave. There's nothing we can
don't kill us.
gain from here.
well, I bet your hand would reanimate, and then we can reattach it.
That's not how that
No.
works.
I begin heading towards the exit.
Let's go.
Well,
Sorna joins behind you relatively, but still looking within the room. Both of your perceptions, no need to roll or anything. There is dim light crusting around. You do not see anything adorning the walls, just that this is the central focus of where even the stone is being rotted.
I take the
Best way to
crowbar.
describe it.
I'm just gonna scrape the
Here
sigil.
you go. There's your
As
crowbar.
you take the crowbar and stuff, you can see it
I don't
instantly
break.
rusting.
Yeah, I'm not
rusting
breaking.
along and stuff, and it's kind of like you're crushing some of the stone, but clearly not breaking it meaningfully enough. As you can see, the crowbar just rusting away, taking that necrotic damage.
this might be a venture
You
for
have-
another day.
Sort of a crowbar left.
I have two,
Let's go.
so I'm okay with using one.
I'm gonna gather that guy's entrails and dump it down the chasm.
Okay, really
before I
quick,
go.
just running
Yeah.
along and stuff.
You want to hook a rock to it?
Within the unliving sect robes and stuff and the bit of skin that's left, you gather it all up, run it on over, jump over, and you can see the creatures below trying to grasp at you. Take off the sarcophagus lid and, trash into a dumpster and everything that you never ever want to see again. Your shame
There goes all my porn.
I just don't want this guy getting reanimated.
drifts
What?
into the chasm.
Actually, I got it. What if we throw one of the skins?
What if we put a skin in there?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, wait, interesting. I'm still heading towards the exit though.
So,
We're leaving.
as you saw Vicar do this really quickly and everything, Vorl and Nar are just like, kind of like right here.
You know, I'm
guys
not
are
usually
here,
one to really advocate that, but I'm kind of
No bones or muscles, though, so what would happen?
Just turns into the guy from Who Framed Roger Rabbit after he gets steamrolled.
Oh god.
Do you want an encounter? Because that's how you get an encounter.
I mean,
Do you want to?
No.
Do you want to?
I do.
Just
I-
like this.
I will drag both of you out of here.
Sorna is just there, just like,
So it was okay to break into the sarcophagi and steal the holy relics, but try to reanimate a skin. Okay.
He may see things that we've never seen before, and he's like, "Guys, check this out. This is what's going down."
He has no eyes
Hey, he probably could see it.
and no tongue.
as
Voice
you guys
box.
are pacing out and everything, following along.
What if I blow air into his mouth and move my fingers like this?
You take off the skin suit. You do see both of them are male. One is of darker skin, perhaps a Kagger human. But you are noticing that there are some distinct tattoos branded on the arm of the Archon Adept. And then the Sepulturian member seems, caramel skin, more like Gaiden, likely.
So extra tentacle space.
So.
And what's the tattoo of?
It seems more like ornamental, tribalistic, nearly geometrical designs,
Does anyone know what
reminiscent of vines, almost like
a
a
humanoid
filigree.
thing this represents?
It's a tattoo. I really don't know anything else besides that.
Well, it looks like a tree or vine or something.
Maybe
As you're
Just
getting
he
ready
thought
to
it
come
was
out and
cool.
everything, he's still just like going through these like skin suits and everything.
Well, let's go. I gotta go see my
What?
pops.
Where are we going?
We're gonna go get Mikheil because he kind of seems like an important factor in all this, and we don't really
We're
want to
gonna
find
go
him
down.
dead anywhere.
What? So why is the skin letter okay, but the skin people are not?
Look, I'm not carrying it because I'm not okay with it. Like, it's weird.
You're carrying it, right?
Carrying what?
The skin letter.
Yep.
Do you want to throw the skin letter in the thing and see it happens?
No.
I feel like we
No.
did
Oh,
that.
wait. Could you? What? So what would they have? Like a pork roast?
Like a flubber
Ugh.
version of skin.
Ugh, no.
You can see that this skin is maintained by necromantic energies, likely without it being preserved in some way. These skin suits are going to falter, likely.
Probably turn into a rug of smothering. Oh, so you're saying we have to go put them
It's
in
a,
the necromantic?
a really big.
Well, I'm just saying that you can take them with you, certainly, but
They'll
if the
rot.
authorities search you, it will draw many questions.
Sir, why are the
So,
two skin suits on?
I'm going to cut the tattoo out.
Okay.
And I throw the skin suits to the side.
into the sigil.
No,
Just into one of the portions of the barrow and everything.
not
You
into
guys-
the goo.
You guys exit
You guys need a
and
new
everything.
suit here.
Closing the door behind you as
Yeah.
best you may. And
Yeah.
Wait,
pushing southwards.
so how are we going to catch up with Angel Sex Panther?
We gotta find some way to find them.
Let's at least just keep going the direction he went in.
Can
Yeah.
you track a panther?
I mean, we're in my favored land. I'm kind of used to the mountains, but I mean,
Do any of you have healing?
Yes.
I could use
Nah.
some.
no, you're fine.
I have a working thumb.
The whole time until it's like, it's just like
You reap what you sow.
I
You weren't okay with us making that body alive, so you got to deal with your repercussions.
I guess I'll lay on hands.
I think we could have. We
Does
could
it
have
do
made
anything?
you all.
Just a good 1 point. It's enough to kind of like you feel your bones and tendons still tight. It will take some time. Your hit point max is still decreased until that's done and everything.
They take
That'll take like a long rest, but
Okay.
receiving magical healing.
So does
you
it go up to
regain use of-
24 now? Is it 23? Does it go up 1 point? Okay.
You regain just your hit point max and your current hit points are reduced and stuff, but you're just regaining use of your hand
Okay.
for gaining.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Isn't there a story
You have the
about
cookies over there?
replacing your cut off hand with a magic hand?
Do you want chocolate or
I
do you
want the chocolate.
I'm
As
sure
you
there's
guys-
stories about everything.
Previously, with your role, had identified that you were north of Cyntharian within the Shadowed Passes, that this barrow, scantly a mile or so away, further down the valley of Pallor, but there was clearly some light source in the midst of the night. During the day, you can't really make it out from the rest of it due to the dim light, but you still see a bit of torchlight.
Are they going to be
Not as
okay
bright
with
as it
us
had
going through their dead person place?
We don't have to say we came from there.
Where did we come from?
Dumont?
Have we
Milan?
ever been to Dumont?
We'll say Milan.
You don't necessarily need to say you're from somewhere to actually, like, you don't have to be
just if they
from
ask.
there to actually.
Well, what if they ask me a question about Dumont? How did you like your visit to Dumont?
You say
Great, the palm trees were beautiful.
You
And then they
go-
go, no.
there are a lot of vampires, and then that's
I
it.
feel like
You
there
just
might
say-
be other questions.
You say, we just passed through. We didn't see much.
I thought it was in a cave over a lake in the middle of a mountain.
You got that part right, so there we go.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Well, how did we...
They're like, how do you like it? And you just say that
Okay.
exact
It's
thing.
on a lake. We took a boat.
Well, I mean, the lake's pretty dangerous.
Do they take boats over the lake?
I think so. I don't know.
You know what? I'll
We'll
just say
Milan.
I'm
We'll say
from
Milan.
under Dumont. And then if they ask any questions,
Under Dumont?
it's technically true.
You guys know that there is the Chained Pass. It is a former trail for slaves to traverse from Dumont into the Green Reach. That you could have been like, we're coming from the Green Reach, the Chained Pass.
Better.
What kind of
So,
slave?
because you guys have traveled that before.
Oh, well then...
Probably humans.
Oh, humans. Okay.
Probably.
What did you tell me about humans?
What lots of things.
Did they eat babies or something?
I'm
What?
right here. You can literally ask me anything, and I will tell you.
What do babies taste like?
We don't eat babies.
Oh,
Well, unless you're that kind of weird freak, but I mean, they're kind of shit.
Did you put on those robes yet?
What?
No, not the cannibals.
I have to answer questions about...
Just say you took a Valor Silence.
So-
We're walking and talking as I'm.
I don't say you took a Valor Silence.
You saw it was about
I will
a
say
mile
for
or
you.
something.
Are the robes going to fit me?
Vaguely.
Vaguely.
So I put them on. Do I look
That's
like
all.
So putting on which
the
robes?
soul?
Okay.
Is that
you
the
push
elf?
over? It is like a white linen. It's fairly simple. You have the veil crest over fully. You can set it below your eyes, but a full veil would probably suit you well. It does crest down far enough,
Cover that up.
but distinctly a lot of leg is showing.
like
Or
like
for you,
boys
many
like
legs is showing.
wearing that's technically heresy.
Is it? People keep telling me I look barky, not heresy.
Oh god.
Well, let's go, shall we?
You guys walk on the mile and everything as you push towards what seems to be this outpost and large black steel portcullis. Sort of a small keep to guard the roadway. As you draw near, you can see slick back, blondish hair, but like a deep tanned skin individual, kind of like crest outwards, sort of leaning a spear to the side
From the town?
from the top of the tower.
Okay.
How fare you this day?
It's going.
Are you seeking passage on to Cyntharian, or do you move on towards the Sanguinary Gate?
Well, we're looking for friends, so we don't know where he went.
Did you happen to
white
see
hair,
a panther?
beard, or panther?
A man turned into a panther? Or vice versa?
Maybe a
That
squirrel.
rings a bell.
Do you know where
Well,
he
You
went?
passed on to Cyntharian.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna head there and find him.
You seemed in distress.
Yeah, some shit went down a couple days ago.
Yes. He may have lost
Did he
everybody
tell?
he knew.
Did
in
he
his
really tell you what happened?
Not really.
I mean, it's kind of important to know. So I will.
He was talking about some attack to someplace I don't know.
town. A horde of undead attacked his town, and it's likely all of his friends are dead, and that's what he's worried
Do you
about.
know? Do you know Cendre?
I do not.
Well, it's a titty. It's a city. It's a city. It's a city within or small, more like a settlement, but like
I mean, there are
Like,
several cities.
yeah. I mean, it's been a long.
Yes, titties in the cities.
Yeah.
That's my favorite brothel.
No, the city in Greenreach is known as Cendre, and there was a large horde of undead that laced the town, and we kind of got sequestered away without really any of our consent.
I
so-
think the important
Very
part
well.
to him will be all the vampire guards that got slaughtered.
What was that?
I
Yeah,
said I
That
thought
you're still wearing the soul vest?
Yeah,
Yes.
dude, chill out.
Kind
There-
of like
there
looking
was-
and everything, now drawing attention towards you.
He
There
found
was a
me.
number of vampiric guards that were in town, but they
See,
were.
If you're pursuing your friend, or if this is some other matter we might be alerted to,
I mean, you should
I
definitely.
mean, it's
do that.
possible that horde is just
Yeah, I
moving
mean, if
from
you
town to town.
let me speak with the border quickly.
Just before you go, how close are we? How far are we from the ascended day of Earth? How far off is that?
Leave a day or two.
From now?
Yes.
Okay.
how long has he been speaking?
Maybe a minute.
I memorize all of his vocal patterns.
Okay.
Oh no.
That's all I have.
So, well, we'll open the portcullis. Come and speak.
Sweet.
Okey-doke.
So as he'll kind of trail down, you do see there's across the portcullis way. There's like two other guards up there that are just kind of listening on and stuff, and they're taking bits of glances at this peculiar party. But from the other side of the portcullis, you can see the guard you were speaking to, as well as a bit more dignified man. Sort of like a very sharp widow's peak, clearly balding when undeath took him. Another vampiric man. This one far more pale of skin and kind of giving a bit of a glance. So I'm to guess you're the lot that's reporting so there was some attack. You said Cendre.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's ways distance from here. How'd you find yourselves magically here?
A false sanguine?
Yeah. So like a flesh
Someone
golem.
wearing a vampire skin suit.
One of the
Uh,
people secretly attacking the city did not want us being there to help protect the city and
So they
transport
took
us
us away.
somewhere
I see.
intending to kill us all.
And the man who passed through here last night was another survivor.
Mhm.
He was. His friends lived there, so he's
greatly concerned about them and wants to get back. But
Get the horses ready.
kind of afraid.
Have you ever?
We're going to ride on to Cendre where we are going to make reports. I hope all of you don't mind coming along and
Sure.
making sure everything's
What was
as it should
the
be.
vampire guard's name that we met
We'll get where?
The
in the
one that we
brothel.
talked.
Oh, I never got his name. But do you know an adept Bosi system?
What
What
was
chance
his
did he
name?
pass through here? An adept Bosi system?
I'm afraid not.
No. Okay.
Adept, you mean archon?
Archon, yeah.
There's a archaeological dig maybe about 2 days northwards of here.
Right.
I've seen them relatively.
But that's...
You are asking a lot of questions. How about you follow me and we'll take a quick
Let's
ride?
get going.
So
And this, what city is this? Town?
this is
We'll be heading towards Cendre.
this is the gate.
Where are we now? This is the.
This is just an outpost protecting the road towards Cendre.
Can I
There's no name. Okay.
can I get an insight check to see if this is his way of here? Let me go take you to a murder den real quick so we can get rid of any talkers.
Make an insight check. Yeah.
Is Cendarian north?
Cenderian is due east
So
Okay.
20,
due west.
21.
Due west.
Oh, it's an 18. It was an 8. What's your bonus?
Unbelievable power. 21.
21. Just definitely seems concerned you guys reporting attack against a frontier settlement, as well as he definitely seemed
Okay.
intrigued about false sanguith. But he's wanting you to ride. You imagine with the horses that you can see, the other Vorans are quickly kind of gathering
Let's go.
up.
The Sanguith's name
I'm
was
proficient with language.
Samor. Sanguith's Samor.
I believe I've had him pass through here a number of times to Syntherian and places beyond.
Is that his name? That was his name?
But let's.
Well, I
let's
wrote down
make
East
our way
Samor,
to
but I'm pretty
Syntherian.
sure it wasn't
As you
spelled
see,
like
he'll
that.
kind of kick up and everything.
And
We ride.
the guard's name was Hamish.
Hamish was
Hamish,
at
Yeah.
the manor.
Yeah,
The manor.
Hamish.
Well, he
Might
was
call
also.
me Voda Elatians.
Latvians.
I'll remember that.
Like,
And this is a demonic soldier.
I never write it down.
It's empiric, man.
My
It
character's
depends
not
on it depends on my
How did you
character.
get a tan?
Just kind of like looks.
He's not-
new.
uncultured. He doesn't mean any insult.
He's
I think of
like,
him like a child.
he's like 4 months old.
Is he like a monk or something?
Not familiar with
Kind of
society.
like looking at your vestments and stuff. As all of you kind of mount up and stuff, you are provided horses, and he takes a contingent of 5 soldiers along with you.
Ooh, horses.
All right.
I
You can
stare
see
at the
these
horse.
large destriers. Very good riding horses. They are set with saddlebags, and they are going on at a pretty quick pace, and expect you guys to kind of keep up. There are one of the Vorans are helping you kind of guide your horses along and stuff.
I know
So
How does the horse react to having 4?
It depends on if you're gripping it creepily
No,
or not. Yeah, if
just-
you're just sitting on it, you're fine.
Just
Yep.
There's a lot of
Rattling.
rattling around in there, and you guys are hearing this weird sloshing inside of him. It's off. But-
horse.
Animal handling make it easier to ride at all, or is that just?
What about land
it's a set road, and they're kind of guiding you, so no real checks are needed, unless you want to do something fancy or like ride ahead. You guys are going at a pretty good jaunt, so
I would like to stay on the horse.
Okay.
That's
I want to check
easy
my
enough.
saddlebags for anything. Not even saddlebags.
A gold piece.
Those are our saddlebags.
They are now. They're on
Grim
our
saying,
horses.
Anything to help the cause, right? So as you kind of like fish through and stuff, plenty of oats and everything for
For
horses.
horses.
His saddlebags.
Yeah.
You feed them.
Ooh,
You stick
can
them
But
I-
you do find there is like a very nice scabbard that you know likely they could put swords in, and you see that there's a rear shield strap as well as a spear strap and stuff.
That are in the saddlebags.
They're connected to the saddle and stuff. These are horses meant for military operation.
Can I absorb oats?
Through the Nar Hollow, you kind of consume and push
Just
them,
so.
just a little bit and everything.
A couple cups of
And then
oats.
He's just making some
and then you
pocket sand.
extrude them into your mouth, and you know,
I would like to keep, say, 2 cups of oats.
sure. But pushing on about the 2-hour mark, you guys see in the dim light of the southern hemisphere brilliant whitestone mountains, a ghostly paleness to them, and still the ashfall kind of kicking down on you as certainly all of you have found yourselves in unexpected places. As 2 hours crest past, still the road pushing upwards, now beginning to descend into the valley. And that's where you can see the initial first portion of this almost fang-like peak kicks forth. Against the sky almost, you can see the red tinge against the white stone of this sacred site. As another hour crests, you can see there's a large open valley where you're drawing nearer.
You speak
So-
Eldritch?
I
Speak
do.
Elvish and common.
In Elvish, I say to him, we are awfully close to Milan.
I was thinking that as well.
As you guys are pushing on to like a really quick pace and everything, thundering, the hooves carrying throughout the valley. You guys crest further along until it settles as you're moving towards that peak. You can then see within maybe another half an hour some lights beginning to dot the valley in a further line of lights cresting up towards the mountain. They are this dull and deep crimson as you guys crest through, and you can see Cyntharian unfold before you. This shrine city to the Unliving Emperor and sacred site of vampire kind. That's where we're going to take our